So, starting off, the objective of the game is to control 7 castles and or strongholds that are around the board in various spots. Castles are these smaller ones. There's one there, one here, one here, one here. And the strongholds look slightly bigger, so there's one there, there's one here, the capital, one here. Every player starts with a stronghold, and it doesn't matter in terms of victory conditions. You have to be the first player to 7 to win, and you need to take control of them with your armies. And each turn begins by revealing the Westeros cards, which are on the side of the board there, except from you don't do that in the first turn, so we'll come back to them later. But other than the first turn, you'd reveal those. But what you then go on to do is the planning phase. And this is where the orders come in, like diplomacy. Diplomacy, you write them down. In this game, you have order tokens, which have your house symbol on the back, so no one can tell what order you're putting down. And the symbols, the other side, show what order you have selected. So you have the axe for movement, you have this fist for support, you have the torch for raiding, you have the helmet for defense, and last one you have is the crown, and that's Consolidate Power. Okay, so you've got 5 different types of orders, and you put those down on the board where your units are. Everyone puts down their orders, the whole board's full of the order tokens, and then everyone flips them over at once, and everyone gets to see what orders have been selected. But the clever thing about this is, although you can see what orders have been given, you don't know exactly what the player intends to do with, say, a movement order until it comes to their turn. So there's the difference, key difference between this and diplomacy is, in diplomacy they're all executed at once, whereas in Game of Thrones we get to do it turn by turn. So let's have a look at what should happen next. So firstly, we see what orders have been given. Okay, and the order of the order that the orders are executed in is determined by the Iron Throne track on the side of the board. So you have a look at who is first on the Iron Throne track. So if I come round, so you've got Baratheon first, and then Lannister, then Stark, then Highgarden, then Greyjoy. And so what we would do is we'd go to Baratheon and we'd ask to see one of his raid orders if he had any. Raid orders come first. If he doesn't have any, we'd then move on to the next player, so on and so forth, until raid orders have been executed. But they're all executed one by one. So if Baratheon had 2, he'd have to pick one and then wait for it to come back round to him. What raid orders do is they can disrupt other people's orders, but they can only disrupt the support ones, that's the fist, or the Consolidate Power ones, that's the crown. Okay, they can also stop other people's raids actually. So if you're higher up in the order process, then you can raid other people's raids to stop them doing one on you. Okay, so raids are great. You can cut support that way by destroying the support order of your enemies. And if it's a Consolidate Power order that you're destroying, then you get a power token. We'll come on to what those are later on. Okay, so that's raiding. Then you've got movement. This is the main order of the game. And with a movement order, let's just put it in Highgarden for a second, just to show some different things. With a movement order, what you can do, you pick the movement order, and then you pick one space that your troops are going to, and you can split up your troops. So I could do it like this. I can say they're all moving here. I can say they're all moving to here. I could say one of them's going here, and one of them's moving over to there. And that happens at the same time. So it's a little bit more varied. You can choose. Another thing you can do, if you've got 2 movement orders like this, you can pick one and move them into the area with the next movement order. And then you wait for everyone else to do a move, and then when it comes back to you, you select the second movement order, and then you can move off from there. So that way you can cheekily get your units moving twice in a turn if you stagger the moves like that. There is transporting by ships in this game. You don't have a special order for that. It's just assumed that if a ship is in the sea zone near you, then it's free to transport your troops, even if it's doing something else. So ships can do an order, and also they can always transport. And with transporting troops, you have a look at where the sea is connected to. So this is quite a big sea zone, goes all the way down to there. And that means those troops can move from their starting position all the way round to where that sea zone is connected to as their one move. And it doesn't matter if you're just using one ship or many ships. If you've got a few ships lined up in several seas, then you can move about as if it's all just one move. So seas are very powerful with ships for moving up and down the coast very quickly indeed. The next moves, the next order is to do with battle. So you've got your defense order. That's very easy. It just adds +1 to your strength in battle. And your support order, that will add the support of the units which are in the zone. So if my support order is here, I've just got one ship supporting. If it's here, then I've got all these troops supporting, and it just adds on their strength to any adjacent battle in the zones adjacent to where it's supporting. Ships can support into land, but land can't support ships. They can't swim out there. Okay, and last order then is the Consolidate Power order. That just sits there for the whole round. If it doesn't get raided, then at the end of the round, everyone with a Consolidate Power order gets a power token for the number of crowns in the area they are. So there's 1 crown in that area, it's on the token itself, but if I was here in Yorenwood, you can see there's already a crown there, so if I had a crown order, I'd get 2 power tokens. Okay, that's all the orders, so let's move on to the Westeros cards, I think.